Hey guys. So I saw one of the most horrendous things that I have ever seen in my life today. And I want to talk about it because a lot of people have been talking about this. And yeah, I want to give my opinion. Let's get into it. So there was a Facebook Live that came on that everybody's been talking about. That's why I'm not going to show the video. Actually, it's very graphic. Well, the video itself isn't graphic, but he talks very graphically in the video. It's a guy by the name of Jay, I believe his name is Jay Biggs, down in Baltimore. Apparently, the brother decided to off his girlfriend, his current pregnant girlfriend, as well as off his ex-wife, and then off himself. He claimed that the reason for doing this was because he's been depressed, he's been having suffering from depression. And he said the reasons for his depression is because the two women that started off with that first wife were giving him problems about him being in the lives of his children. Apparently, this man is supposed to be a quote unquote high value man, he has a six-figure salary, drives a BMW, lives in a decent neighborhood, so forth and so on. And he claimed that he was having issues with custody over his kids. He says that the ex-wife actually told the courts that he was abusing his children. Okay. And this is the reason why he was having these custody issues. He had called out a friend's name that was watching the Facebook Live at the time, his name Oliver or something, and told Oliver, hey, Oliver, yeah, you know what I'm going through right now. But yeah, I just went and I just shot my baby mom, my girlfriend in the head. And I can't believe I did that. And now I'm about to, my wife, my ex-wife, she's next. And then I'm going to take care of me because, I'm not ever going to jail. This is what this guy said. Keep in mind, after all this was over, authorities actually found the children that he claimed he's having these custody issues over in his car. Okay. He was actually there to drop the children back off at home to his ex-wife. Okay. So clearly he had some type of custody, some type of visitation with his kids. Okay. I'm not really understanding where this idea is, he's having all these problems with custody and all this stuff, considering the fact that his children were with him at the time that he murdered not only the girlfriend who was carrying his unborn child, but also murdered their mother. Okay. And then murdered himself and left these kids in the Baltimore system. Okay. I mean, let's think about this. You claim that you have so much love for your kids that it has depressed you to the point that you need to kill their mother, kill yourself, and now leave those children to fend for themselves out here in these streets. What kind of man does this? What is going on out here? Which led me to go into some chat rooms who were discussing this here on YouTube. And I couldn't believe some of the conversations that I was seeing. It's kind of like some people are saying, hey, he's just completely wrong. Other people are saying, the mothers are completely wrong. And then other people are just kind of in between. I don't, I don't want to say that the mothers aren't wrong because they might be. Okay. There might be some things that they have said that have been evil or that have been hurtful to the father. Okay. That have caused these problems. But clearly it could not have been that big of a problem, like as if the children aren't allowed to be around the father. If the children were with him, like I don't understand, how he's using that as an excuse for why he felt it was justified to murder their mother and justified to murder the girlfriend. What did the girlfriend have to do with it? Now, on top of that, he said that the reason why he killed the girlfriend is because they got into a fight and she told him in that fight that she was going to take him to court for his kids. You know, he might not be able to see his kids. And that is what set him off because of what the ex-wife said and what she put him through. And now this girlfriend is saying it too. You know what? The first thing I immediately thought about when that was said was, well, when are you going to accept responsibility for something? You know, clearly these women, if you're, the first thing you're saying is you got in a fight with these women, okay? And now they're telling you they want to take the kids. They don't want to, you know, have the kids around you. How is it that you're not accepting responsibility for your behavior in that situation? Okay? Are women supposed to, and men, are we supposed to just allow our children to be around an unstable person? I mean, let's think about it. Are we supposed to be around and just allowing our children to just freely go about and around with somebody who's putting their hands on their mother in front of them and stuff like that, or doing other crazy things, you know? I mean, I even have to put out the young Pharaoh on that situation. He was out here shooting at the mother, the mother of his children's house with the kids in there, but then wants to get on YouTube and bitch and complain about him not being able to see his kids. Like, what are you talking about? We all have to do better. Okay, we got to take responsibility for our actions, for our behavior. We have to take responsibility sexually for who we are sleeping with and who we are reproducing with. Okay, that goes for men and women. Okay, and I'm not saying that, you know, yes, people do change. Okay, sometimes you get into a relationship with somebody and later on in life, they're not that same person. Okay, so I get that part of it. But then that's where the responsibility comes in of even, you know, even if you have to involve the courts. I'm not one person that agrees with going to the courts on things all the time, but sometimes you really have to, okay? Involve them, get involved in that, you know, go back and forth with the custody or whatever. Allow the father to have visitation, allow the mother to have visitation, whatever the case may be, work that out, you know, but also understand that if this does come up and, you know, there's a situation where the parent is telling the judge, you know, this father has done this, he's done that. I don't think he should be around the kids for this reason or for that reason. Or the father does the opposite and says the same, you know, hey, judge, the mother's been doing this or been doing that. I don't think she's stable enough to be around the children full time. Yes, I really think that it's okay to have those types of conversations for the sake of the kids. That's the problem. Everybody's looking at their own ego, their own wants, their own needs. They want to look good to their friends and look good to the world instead of thinking about what's best for the kids. Bruh, if you were just putting your hands on their mom, do you think it's really best for the kids for you to be all with the kids all the time? I mean, that's confusing to especially a little girl and a little boy. You know what I mean? To be seeing the father putting his hands on their mother. You admitted that in this Facebook video that you were fighting on these women. So, I mean, that he was fighting on these women. So, you know, I don't understand why these types of things are happening and why, you know, the Black community, what I've seen today has been absolutely atrocious between men and women. Just fighting back and forth, calling each other out each other's name. You don't even know each other. And it's all from whatever pain that you're going through in your own personal situation. Instead of feeding off each other's pain, which unfortunately I feel like happens in the Black manosphere a lot. Okay. And I'm not blaming Kevin Samuels or anything. There's people out here saying that. I'm not blaming the manosphere. But at the same time, some people within the manosphere do have this horrible, horrible mindset towards Black women based off of what they've been through with the Black women in their life. That doesn't mean every single Black woman is like this across the board. Every single Black woman in America is like this across the board. This is just what you've experienced. And now you've got this group of men who get together and talk about this and feed each other this toxicity every single day, all day long, day in and day out. And you take that and spill that into the streets with your families, with your babies' mothers, with your kids, and all this stuff. And this is the result. This is the result. This is horrible. When are we all going to accept responsibility for our own actions? That includes women, because there are some bitter baby moms out there. There are some bitter women out there who will hold the kids from the father because she doesn't want him around. She doesn't want the kids and him to be dating somebody else and the kids be, and then now they've got a new quote unquote mother and all this other stuff. I get that, but you can't hold the kids as a pawn against these men. You just cannot do that. You can't. It can cause a psychotic break in a person if they're doing everything they can to be in the lives of their kids and you're stopping them just from being bitter. Now, that's just for if that is happening, because it does happen and we have to address that. But we also have to address the other side of that. Every baby mother who is holding their children from the father is not doing so because she's bitter. Sometimes it's you, bro. Like, if you spent the past 4, 5, 6, 7 years whooping her ass, if you spent the past 2 or 3 years smacking her around, and now she's finally gotten the courage to leave you and take her child with her, you can't be mad at her for going to the court and doing what she has to do to keep your monster ass off of that child. That's what a mother is supposed to do. She should have been doing it, but she wasn't. Okay, she's trying to clean that up and she's trying to make a life for her kids. It's time for you to accept responsibility that you got to get your ish together, that you need to go get some counseling, that you need to go get some anger management or whatever the case may be, that you need to start figuring out why you think it's normal to put your hands on a female. These are the things that you should be doing as a man. And these are the things that women should be doing as a woman. So that's just my thoughts on this. I just think it's absolutely horrible what happened to those kids, because ultimately they are the only ones that suffer in this situation. Their coward ass father done killed himself. He can't even answer to them about why he would do this to their mother. They don't have nothing to do with that. And clearly it wasn't that bad of an issue if they were coming from a visit with you. Clearly nobody's stopping you from seeing your kids. Now, I understand the nature of, if the mother really did make an accusation like that, the nature of how that would affect somebody. I can understand how that would be hurtful, how that would really, affect you mentally. But at the same time, the bigger picture is you actually have your kids. You're actually in their life. So regardless of what she said that was wrong, you still won because you got your kids in your BMW. So therefore, they are riding around with you. They're hanging out with you. They're staying the weekend with you. They're doing all that. So it can't be that much of a big deal. Like, oh my God, like you're just so stressed out about this because you can't see them. Because they were at your house, bro. They were with you the whole weekend. It doesn't make sense. And you only brought them home just to kill their mom and left them in the car. What kind of monster? I mean, clearly, these mothers must have seen something in you. These mothers must have seen something in you that prompted them to talk about custody or talk about taking the kids or anything like that. Please, please, please take responsibility for your actions, for your behavior in a situation. You cannot sit around for the rest of your life blaming everybody else for your decisions. And that's all I got to say about it. If you got a messed up and an effed up situation with your baby mom or with your baby dad, and they're holding your kids from you, you might need to look in the mirror. Because it might be you. All these excuses you're giving to all your friends and to social media doesn't mean that that's actually what's happening. It really might be you, bro or sis. Get your ish together. Every single one of us must do that. All right, y'all. I just wanted to give my quick thoughts on this, and I'm out of here. I got to go. I got to go to bed. I will talk to y'all later, and peace. Thank you for watching.